Hello artist, welcome to my YouTube channel. Here we are going to just make with the easy painting of this beautiful cherries using watercolors. I have just dropped all the links of the art supplies in the description box below, and here I'm going to teach you with the basic steps using starting from the sketching process to the painting, shadow and so on. And here I'm just taken with my mechanical pencil, and I have just divided my line, so 3/4 on the top and 1/4 on the bottom. So this separation is for making with the background wall and the base ground separation. So I'm just making a location for drawing the two cherries, as that goes with the sphere shape. I'm making with the slanting portion of the cherries, because like one is in the forward direction and the other cherry is like being placed in the behind area. So I'm just placing it all over like that. And after making that, next is going to be with a little depression, so from where the stem grows of cherry, and that should be little partition. The first one is partitioned and second one is little behind to the first one, so we need to make the sketch properly and adding the details finally. Next, the behind line is visible for us and I'm just erasing it. Next is going to be with the painting section, and before that we need to add with the shadows, so the reflections, highlights of the cherry, as you can see in the reference picture. Over the cherry it goes with a very lightest shade, the white color. So all that reflection should be drawn, and I'm taking the perfect measurement, so it's like just to the left side of the cherry, and shadow portion is going to be on the right side, because the light source, just fall from the left side direction. According to that, I'm adding all the details and highlights. So next is going to be with an important process of adding the masking fluids. So here I'm going to take my brush rose masking fluid ready to draw and mask it. So yeah, I have just dropped all my links in the uh, description box below, you can check that. So with this fluid, I'm having a separate brush for using this. So we should not add any different brushes to make painting of this one. So we need to keep a separate one for this, because it will turn, the brush has little sticky, and it will not be it will become sturdy, so we cannot paint it with that again. I have chosen here number one round brush. So with this I'm just painting over the stem, because it's a very linear area and we need a very lean brush to just paint and cover the with the masking fluid, and slowly just moving on with the cherry. And we should not overlap again and again over the fluid, because it may tear off, and we need to just keep on with the flow covering the cherry. So I am just done covering only the stem and the cherry, not the shadow portions and nothing else. So yeah, masking is done. Next is going to be very fun and painting the background. I have just done with the green shades. So we can just take our grass green, the lightest shade of green, emerald green, phthalo green and the black. So all these colors are from the green shades, and I have just mixing up with the phthalo green and the black mixture to create this wall effect, the darkest portion of the wall effect on the either sides of the painting, the background wall. So I'm mixing now with the emerald green to the phthalo green mix. So after mixing these colors, I will get kind of a medium shade of the green. So with that, I'm blending it with the previous colors, because the highlight portion of the wall is going to be just behind the cherry. And to make it little lighter version, I'm just blending from the darkest to the lightest gradation tone, and in the middle here you can see I'm just adding a mixture of grass green to the emerald green and just blending it well. Firstly, I'm just applying with the base layer of the paint, and after that I'm just going to make over the second layer of the paint to make the blending well. And there should not be any whites visible and any brush strokes left, so I'm just going again verifying everything. And the direction of the brush strokes are important to make it look like a 3D. So now our wall portion, the background wall portion is completely done. Next is going to be painting of the base floor, And to make the base floor, I'm just taken with the paints of the emerald green, grass green, majorly with the white. So here phthalo green will not be that much. So starting with the emerald green and a little of a black mixed together, I'm starting it with the darkest portion of the base ground on the right side. But when we move to the left side, we are going to mix emerald green and white well together to just bring out the lightest shade of the green. And because the light source it falls from the left side, and the left wall, the left wall, also the left base ground should be little lighter in shade when comparing the right side. So I am just blending it completely well, and a painting of base ground is done. So next is going to be a main task of peeling off the masking tape, and that's done with the help of a paper knife. I'm just removing it properly, and you can just blow out the excess and don't rub with your hands. Next, here is the Bruce Rose well wattage brushes. I'm here using the number 8 and number 1 round brush. So with this, firstly, for making the cherry color, I'm just going to make with the base alone. So for this base, I have just selected my scarlet color. So if you don't have scarlet, you can just go with a vermilion or primary red. So pale geranium lake. I'm here using the Faber Castell paints. So I have taken my pale geranium lake to make the base layer, starting from the leftmost, leaving all the highlights. And if our base layer is done, next is going to be like mixing up with the second layer, second coating over the first layer to make it a little darker. The task is going to be with the mixing of the darkest shade of cherry, because the right side goes with the shadow portion, and to create that I'm just making a mixture of a pale geranium lake and black together, so it produces a kind of a maroon or burgundy shades. So with that I'm adding on the highlights towards the right. So without disturbing that, we can just give a base layer as we did before for the left side of the cherry, and to the with the black I'm just making on the very corners, so that will give a realistic shadow effect. Now the task is to blend both the dark colors and the pale geranium color, light color together. So we need to bring out the gradient effect. In the first cherry, you can see the dark color isn't blended with the lightest. So I'm adding the pale geranium lake again, and particularly in the meeting point of both colors, I'm just blending it a little bit with the water. So this is just with the painting of cherries, and next is going to be with the reflections. So reflections are like highlights and the shadows. I'm just going to paint both things. For shadows, just taking up my phthalo green and the black color. So here the black mixture will be, the black ratio will be little high in the mixture. So I'm adding just in the base to the right side of the cherry, and I am here just blending the corners of the black to just give a realistic effect that should blend well with the floor. Next, for the reflections, the highlights on the cherry, I'm just having my peach. So in my set I have got with my coral pink, and if you don't have that, you can just go with some kind of peach or a baby pink shades. So to that I'm mixing it with white to make the reflections, the highlight portions. Next, finally, we are just here in painting the stem of the cherry. So to paint the cherry stem, as a base color I'm just giving with the lightest of the green, because here this green should be completely visible, and as the background goes so darker, we should not use the darker, that which not will never match it. And to the cherry, the grass greens mixture with the white will be fine. So now on the top of the stem it's little dried up, so to bring that texture, I've taken my burnt ochre and just blending that evenly with a grass green and the burnt ochre to make it look realistic. And to give with the highlights, the definitions, I'm just going with the vandyck brown. So here it's like recommended to use with the number 1 size to brown brush, or if you have like 000 or 00 round brush is also fine. Don't just exceed with number 2 or 3, because the definition will not be obtained with those brushes. And here I'm going to add a bit of a mixture of like light cadmium yellow to grass green to produce kind of a lime shade of the green, the lightest green you can see on the right side of the stem. So that goes with the lightest shade, and which brings more realisticness life to the cherry. And to the left, for creating highlight, I'm mixing white, most white to the green, and just applying all over on the left sides to bring out the highlights. And over the stem there will be little thorny effects over and here and there, and that will be dried up. So to create that effect, I'm taking my Van Dyck brown and just putting up here and there like little dots and little triangles to just give the effect of that peak. So you can see here, and we need to just add with the sharpness on the edges of the stem to create the 3D effect of our cherry. So step is to peel off the masking tape. So you can just go upright to peel off on both the sides, and here is the very final result of the cherry. Hope you enjoyed. Just subscribe, share it with your friends. That's it. Bye bye.